Today on Switch to Linux, we want to talk about Windows and are they the real driving force behind all of this AI nonsense? And furthermore, what does the world really think of AI? Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, today we want to talk about Windows and its push for AI in 2025 and how excited is the world about this. If you like this type of content, please feel free to subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Make sure you are still subscribed if you have in the past, and leave us a like and a comment down below. So, of course, if you follow my channel enough, you know I'm not a huge advocate of AI, and I have been debating and thinking about the last several months, should we embrace some small form of AI, understanding that it is here, it is dangerous, but hey, as long as we understand the limitations of what you can and should use it for, is it an appropriate thing to use or not? I really still don't have a solid solution one way or the other. I take a fairly strong stance against AI because it generally does not create, it mishmashes, merges together, and regurgitates all of its training data. And the problem is that the training data, some of it is copyrighted material, some of it is caught up in lawsuits, some of it is simply public available data, which really illustrates the darkest portions of mankind, being is that bad news is what sells in the world. And so this raises with it some questions. Of course, on the opposite side, it can be a time saver for some tasks. It can help you to achieve some of the goals that you might have. But at the same time, it also, flipping it back around, can cost a lot of jobs. And then there's been some debate. Is AI going to create as many jobs as it gets rid of? And there's some question on that. Obviously, our society has not yet crashed going through the technological revolution, despite the ability that we went from being able to make something to the effect of 1,000 Twinkies a day to 10 million Twinkies a day. The problem is we still throw away lots of Twinkies every day because people don't have the money to buy them, and you need jobs for the money to buy your Twinkies. We're not creating these things just to give them away, folks. And that is really where the hinge pin of this is. But the real question is, where is all of this push for AI coming from? Is this something that is organically interesting to the population, or is this something that is just being hoisted upon us in a bad marketing plan? Because the marketers know if you just can, say the same thing over and over and over and over, people eventually begin to believe it, even if they had some initial resistance to it. That's what I wanted to question today as we looked at the Windows articles here on Windows Wednesday. From Tech Radar, Microsoft really wants you to update to Windows 11 in 2025. Of course, part of this, and we've talked about this on the channel, Windows 10 is dying this year. In October of 2025, Windows 10 will reach its last security update. They are no longer supporting it after that. An end consumer can pay, I think it's $30 for 1 year additional support, so you can limp that Windows 10 machine along to 2026. Businesses and academics, they can keep those going along 3 extra years for a payment that doubles then each month. Business, it's much more costly, and academics, it's a lot cheaper. And so the point being, though, is that as Windows moves on, they're effectively bricking a lot of computers because a number of computers do not have the capability of safely moving to Windows 11. Can you get Windows 11 on them? Yes. Can you continue to use these computers? Yes. But you do so at a lot of risk that the Windows operating system is the most targeted system for malware, and it will not have the security protections in place after this time. So it forces people who may not want to or be ready or have a desire to buy a new computer, even people that have a perfectly fine working Windows 10 computer, will be forced to spend money they don't have, usually on credit, to buy a new computer that does nothing but cram AI down their throat. And that is really what their push is. Now, this is actually going into the CES conference where they've been talking a whole lot about the Windows 11 adoption. And of course, their adoption levels are still really low. So their adoption levels are still only 34% at Windows 11, with 63% still at Windows 10, and 2.5% of the brave souls are still on Windows 7. And so, of course, they have it best because Windows 7 is awesome, but, for whatever that's the case. Now, of course, the big push that Microsoft is doing, however, according to the Microsoft blog, going into the to CES 2025. They say this is the year of the Windows 11 PC refresh. Why is it refresh? Well, we're simply taking all your computers offline. You have no choice but to refresh. Don't you love the hard-handed sign of techno-authoritarians? Come on, guys. But all this is going into a push into AI. And effectively, they're pushing the Copilot, which I've had many people that, not even necessarily followers of the channel, just people I know in my personal circle, like this AI, this Copilot crap showed up on my computer and I had to fight with it to get rid of it. A lot of people I know in the personal life just don't want anything to do with that. And then, of course, if you get the Copilot Plus PCs that they're trying to push, they are going out and, embedding AI much deeper. Of course, they have the NPUs. They want to take a screenshot of your system every 3 seconds. However, according to a survey report, only about 1 in 10, I think this might be a later article, 1 in 5 computer sales stores are not even going to carry them. They said we don't see the demand for an AI powered PC. And so at the same time, though, Microsoft is just pushing out AI is everywhere. AI is going to solve the world's problems. AI is the perfect utopia coming in. In the words of that guy that wants to live forever, AI is us creating God in our own image. Okay, Microsoft isn't going that far, fortunately. But at the same time, they are really pushing through this whole article of theirs. They're pushing AI to the limits. They want to cram AI down every feature. They want AI in the settings. They want AI in your voice controls. And really the whole push into Windows 11 is to push the Copilot AI and the NPU Copilot Plus PCs with further AI inside of it. And that's really what they're getting at in this whole article, that they're going to CES 2025, which happened, of course, last week. And they're really just going and being a big push. Not to be further done, though, just today from Ars Technica, this is yesterday from Ars Technica as I'm recording this. Amid a flurry of hype, Microsoft reorganizes the entire dev team around AI. So is AI really the exciting thing that everybody wants to go for, or is AI just something that is being hoisted upon the world that they may or may not want? And that really begs a question, because as people's computers, without being embedded with all this AI, are being told you have to upgrade, you got to go and buy a whole new piece of hardware to get all of this new stuff with all of this AI. Are people really asking for it, or is this just something that these big tech CEOs are pushing? Even in this article, though, there was some concern that people asked about, is this really about the push for good AI, or is it all about taking people's jobs? Down here it says, so-called AI agents are applications that are given specified boundaries and large memory capacity to independently do subsets of the kinds of work human office workers do today. Some company leaders and AI commentators believe these agents will outright replace jobs, while others are more conservative, suggesting they'll simply be powerful tools to streamline the jobs people already have. And we've heard this argument before. Right? They said, hey, the computers are going to automate our life. Go back to the 80s. Computers are going to automate our lives. They're going to give us down this short work day. We're all going to come into the office, only work half the time. We're going to get so much more productive that now we're going to go home and have a better work-life balance. Did that happen? No. The employees are still working the same amount. They're getting paid the same amount. The company's getting more productivity out of them. And if you do not play the game and compete on the same detailed biometrically tracked platform, you are the one that gets shut out. So the guy at the top is making a lot more money. The guy at the bottom's wages hasn't raised nearly as much as it should. And I'm not an advocate of a $15 minimum wage for anybody that thinks that's the case. But at the same point in time, the wages have not gone up as much as the inflation of the world. And net result is that the common day laborers who are not going to have more production, they're going to get the same amount no matter what. It's just that the company is going to make more money. that doesn't trickle down. And that's the unfortunate question here. And this is what a lot of people are asking about. Is this really about taking jobs? And will AI bring as many jobs as it replaces? And that happens to be a question. So I scour the internet for as many more recent articles I could find to ask about this question. One of these is from 2023 because it was an interesting take. All the rest of these, I believe, are from 2025, which I'm recording this 15 days into 2025. So looking at this, should we be scared or excited what to expect from AI? This is from a CB Creative blog. And so as AI continues to grow, so do the stakes. This one here is really discussing the AI in the creative space. Now, they make some very good points throughout this article. Are people jumping onto AI systems and replacing the independent contractor? Yes. In fact, I've even seen this in some of my own projects. Now, fortunately, I'm in this niche technical world for my client. My chance of getting replaced by an AI system is a little bit lower, but I manage all the blogs on the company website and a bunch of other elements. Right now, I'm doing some of their social media stuff, which is definitely out of my element. But hey, I was the best one for the job. Looking at all these, though, I was like, hey, we need more blog posts here. And instead of hiring the same person out and paying, $20 per article is what we were doing, he's just spinning up ChatGPT and sending me ChatGPT stuff. Unfortunately, that takes more of my time because the articles from ChatGPT are not nearly as good as the articles from the independent contractor, but it's cheaper for the company, and that's why they do it. So the problem is everybody going to do that? This article actually makes a very, very good point to the contrary, that most people aren't just going to jump in and do that. They're still going to hire the creative because they may not be a creative talent that understands about all of the creative elements. So they might hire the same contractor to do the work who has now shifted their workload to AI, that they get us possibly a better product for less time at the same cost, probably, which means they're making a little bit better of an income. I can support that. I honestly can. Now, if AI is going to replace all the creative's jobs, that's one thing. But if AI is going to supplement the work a creative does to have a better end quality, I'm okay with that. And that really is one of those questions why I myself have a lot of back and forth about, should I embrace some level of AI or should I not embrace some level of AI? And how much of embracing of AI is enough? Do I want AI popping up on my operating system at every corner? No. Do I want to possibly go in and utilize it in a strict controlled sense? Maybe. That's not a definitive yes. That's a maybe. But at the same time, Photoshop came out and it was revolutionary. This article made mention of that as well. Photoshop came out and it was deeply revolutionary, and people are saying this is going to replace all those artists. And it really didn't replace the artists. It gave the artists another tool. So if AI is another tool for the creatives and people keep on the creatives, then the creatives can possibly take on more projects in less time, charge the same amount per project, and make more money. And that is a positive attribute of the system for society. However, if a person comes in and just says, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and do this and fire the person, that's a downside of society. So that's one of those questions from the creative world. It's a 50-50. Some people that don't embrace it may be left behind. Some people that do may find greater opportunities. This is one of the things that says, maybe I should embrace it a little bit. This post here, are you excited for AI in 2025? This one's just a short one, but I want to pull up a lot of these. I have a couple Reddit comments as well because I want to see the comment sections. Are you excited for AI in 2025? No secret, AI struggled to find a footing in 2024 thanks to hallucinations, people telling people eat glue and rocks. Like Google said to put glue on the pizza to keep the cheese from falling off. Remember that one? I mean, the kindergartners eating paste were completely ecstatic about that one, I gotta say. Well, AI left pretty spectacularly poor impression of what it's capable of. Of course, one industry that I didn't cover here that has really embraced AI is the scams and fraud department. AI is not good enough that a court of law will allow it to be used in most cases. AI is not good enough for medicine to use it in most cases. But AI has greatly increased people's susceptibility to phishing and fraud attempts. Net negative for society. Okay, but we can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. So where this doesn't solve any problems, issues plaguing the tech world, sure, it can confidently spit out lies and that sound true, and sure, it can code a little, but ultimately, I don't see AI bringing any solutions to the masses that actually make a difference. But then again, it's still early in the days for this disruptive tech will actually become disruptive, such things in the near future. For now, AI appears to be primarily used for parlor tricks like making bad wallpapers. I guess maybe like that creature. Okay. Catwoman mermaid, I guess. I don't know. So this person just asks, are you excited for AI? No, not really. Most of the AI features are just repackaging gimmicks with an AI label. That is true. Maybe I'm just being paranoid, but it scares me a bit. I've avoided using Gemini and still use Assistant. Too many profiles are being developed. I like to at least have the illusion of privacy. Why would I be okay with Skynet? AI is stupid. It's a glorified search engine, period. If it gives me a voice assistant that turns on the lights reliably and plays the correct music, then I don't care what they call it. Other than those cases, I could care less about the fad. Only in as much as it increases the stock market, otherwise not even slightly. With all these AI companies, looks more and more like a .com bubble type event, which is possibly true. We are going to see a lot of we'll call it the .ai bubble, because of course all these companies are creating domain names with .ai in their name, right? We have the .com bubble. I think we're going to have the .ai bubble. I think it's going to pop. And this guy says, can't wait. So you can see from the comments, the common people on the internet are not overwhelmingly enthused. They're not over here, the CEO of Microsoft, AI is going to change the world for the good. They're like, no, I really could kind of care less. January 13th, 2 days ago, as technology evolves, it becomes harder to tell real AI from marketing. This is, of course, talking about the push of AI purveyors pushing marketing. So if you buy ads utilizing the AI systems on the market, how do you tell the difference between what is a very good ad and what is the actual information being sought? If I go in and I was like, hey, AI, tell me the best headphones to get, it's going to tell you all about Raycon. Now, I've seen all of the Raycon ads from you guys on YouTube. Sponsored. No, I'm not sponsoring Raycon. No, hell no. Because everybody that takes money from Raycon to push their ads suggests they're the best headphones in the world. And everybody I've talked to that had them in real life said they are the most pieces of garbage ever. Yeah, my Bluetooth headphones are skull candy. They cost me $15. I'm not paying $100 for Bluetooth headphones, and I don't even use those much because I hate them. They suck. All right, now maybe Raycons would be better. I don't know. But if you go into your AI and say, hey AI, I am looking for better headphones. Try Raycon. They're the best. Okay. Because Raycon made money. It's the same way right now I'm telling all my web design clients. I have a lot of my web design clients like, we got to get onto Google. What can we do? And then everybody's coming out of the woodwork wanting to give them a website audit or an SEO package. They are all meaningless nonsense in the term of web design. How do you get on the top of Google? You pay Google to be on the top of Google. How to get to the top of Facebook? You pay Facebook to be at the top of Facebook. The only other possible thing you can do is have a channel like this, something that drives traffic. You can drive traffic through some social media presence, or you can pay to be there. There is no single things you can do. You can't keyword stuff a website. Google's too smart for that. There's no structure system that immediately throws your site at the top. There's no way to get to the top except by being paid. And if we're talking about AI and people asking it, what about the best headphones? Whoever pays the money is going to be the best headphones, folks. And that is where AI is going to destroy part of our society. From 4 days ago, why not everybody's excited about AI? Why is everybody not excited about AI tools? So looking at this, this one here talks about AI tools are being part of society, everything from composing emails, creating artwork. Artificial intelligence is disrupting most aspects of our daily lives. Not all people advocate for the so-called revolution. What is more, there's a tendency of having some kind of trust crisis, concerns, and in some cases, rejection of the AI tools irrespective of the innovations being developed. So he kind of addresses 4 of these here. I'm going to let you look up this article. I don't want to give away all of his stuff and take away all his traffic, but effectively, this is a lot of the same concerns. Like I said, he has 4 very clear ones. It's worth reading this article. I want to bring it up just to say not everybody is because of some legitimate things. Obviously, the top of his list is job loss, but he has other valid points as well. Okay. Job security. Like I said, go find his article if you're interested in the rest. This one is the only one that is older. This is from the Pew Research Center. And the Pew Research Center, this is asking what the data says about Americans' view of artificial intelligence. And the reason I wanted to include this one is, if you remember, this is kind of like 1 year after AI hits the ground running. So we had an initial and a 1 year later. And you'll see the trend being down. So 2021, 2022, and 2023, the concern about artificial intelligence in daily life outweighs the excitement. More excited than concerned, equally excited and concerned, and more concerned than excited. You'll notice in 2027, people are like, wow, this is awesome. Some people are like, Some people are like, I don't know. These guys are more excited than concerned. You'll notice that as the years went by, more and more people are being deeply concerned and less people are enthused. And that is across every sector, across every group. Obviously, younger generations are embracing AI more than older generations. That's obvious. But what we are seeing is even among those younger generations, there is still a trend towards distrusting the AI. So many teens say it's acceptable to use AI for research. Few says it's okay. So these are breaking down into to research new topics, to solve math problems, and to write essays. Most people are saying that it's unacceptable to use it to write essays, but most people say it's acceptable to do research topics. As far as doing your math problem, it's kind of a 50-50 on there. 36 say no, 39 say yes, and 24 is like, I don't know. Having a clue, man. And so looking at the Americans that widely oppose employers using AI, using final hiring decisions, track workers' movements, these are all, you'll notice the greens are the opposed, the blues are favorables, and the grays are not sure. Making hiring decisions, most people oppose it. Reviewing applications, again, most people oppose it. Tracking workers' movements while they work, vastly, most people oppose that. Keeping track of office workers, recording is, so you can see across the tech sector, unfavorable mostly, except for research. And as far as doing your job performance, down here at the very bottom one, more people are favoring versus opposing. Monitoring employees' driving behaviors as they make trips for the company. More people are in favor of that, possibly because, a giant several-ton vehicle is in play, perhaps. And then a little bit, it's kind of 50-50 on this, analyzing how retail workers interacts with customers. So the data analysis, people aren't all that concerned. Facial recognition technologies, most people vastly hate that one. Tracking how often people use work. Again, twice as many people hate that as like it. And automatically tracking attendance of their employees. This is kind of 50-50. Some people are saying, yes, that's acceptable. That's very interesting. So health and medicine, more people are uncomfortable if the healthcare workers used it for their medical care. And it would lead to many people, it's kind of split 50-50. Slightly more people say it'd lead to better health outcomes, although about as many people say worse, and some people would say it does not make a difference. And of course, 2 are not answering. Democrats versus Republicans. Of course, politics, it ruins everything. No, actually, pretty much both sides really don't care for they really don't care for AI. They say that the regulation does not go far enough. Versus some people saying it goes too far. So I want to include that one because it does show this downward trend towards suspicion towards AI. And of course, now we need to get to the trash bin of the internet to see what the true people are saying. Why should I be excited for AI? This is a really long post. To basically summarize the post, he basically says, this is an honest question. I'm not being facetious. I'm not trying to be passive aggressive. He says, I just want to know, why should I be excited for AI? That is the only ultimate question. And he goes into some positives, some negatives, some job losses, things like that. And this one here is really the only place I saw any remotely positive instances here. It's not AI in itself you should be excited for. It's the technological and scientific breakthroughs it will enable. And I disagree. I do not think we're going to see massive scientific and technological breakthroughs through AI. I think AI is going to break down upon itself because it's at this point in time training itself on its own data. And there's a reason we shouldn't marry our first cousins. Okay? AI is going to come out a retarded stepchild with 6 fingers. Okay. It's going to start giving you some weird crap. You thought that Will Smith eating spaghetti in the first generation was weird. Oh no, you will not see what happens when it starts feeding upon itself. I do not think, as a person trained in the sciences with a lot of knowledge about how science and scientific discovery works, I do not see AI as actually coming up with scientific breakthroughs because it doesn't think. It only regurgitates. So this guy says, in my honest opinion, I don't think we will truly see changes that are coming. So if AGI, ASI is near, then Sam Altman pointed out, scientific research will accelerate tremendously. If it helps us get infinite energy resources, infinite food production without sacrificing quality to discover this cure for every human ailment, what is the point of us even having jobs? That's a fascinating question. Because as I said at the beginning with the Twinkies, the Industrial Revolution made making Twinkies go from 1,000 a day to a million a day. And I'm just randomly throwing those numbers out. There is actually a study on it. There is a study on the Twinkie manufacturing cost in the world. The problem is that at the end of the day, somebody still wants paid for that Twinkie. And this is why AI at its best is going to cause a radical gap in the pay changes. As all of the automation pushes more people out, a few people will come back to maybe fix the machines or do some other thing that we haven't figured out how to get AI to run. But by and large, more people will be out of work. The Twinkie manufacturing still goes up. Eventually, they're going to have to stop manufacturers made Twinkies because there are not enough people with enough money to buy Twinkies. Because the guy at the top still wants to be paid for it. All AI is going to do is going to greatly increase the wealth gap. Now, is it going to cure every ailment? No, that is nonsense. It will not cure every ailment. It will not even come close. Is it going to increase our food production? No. The poor will always be with us. A very good book has said that once. What's more, in the world where every single problem is solved, what is the point of money? Money is used as the index value. It is the meaning that we have to change completely if everything we deem valuable today becomes commoditized. So therefore, we come up with a perfect utopia. I'm sorry, perfect utopias do not exist. Not outside of the kingdom of Jesus. They do not exist. We are not going to solve mankind's problems with some technological system. We couldn't solve them through philosophy. We couldn't solve them through the revolution, the Industrial Revolution. This is the new technological revolution. We are not going to solve. We were not able to solve it in the Enlightenment. We are not able to solve it in the Industrial Revolution. We are not going to solve it in the tech revolution either. Human nature will not allow it to happen. There is not a human-centric focus to solve the world's problems. Now, does this mean we don't ever try? No, we try. But any attempt to think that we're going to solve the world's problems are completely moot at best. All technology does, to quote from Emerson, or what's Emerson? I think it was Emerson, our improved technology gives us an improved means to reach our deteriorating ends. Because in the heart of a man is a deteriorating end. This is why hallucinations in AI always predict negative consequences. It never makes up the fact that some guy has built a children's orphanage. It only makes up the fact that that a man has done misconduct against somebody. Because the AI itself is trained on human nature, and human nature itself is inherently sinful. They say when calculators were invented, they didn't take away the jobs of the scientists. They helped them work faster and innovate more creatively. This is how I see AI today. Will definitely take over repetitive jobs. It will leave the innovation, imagination, and creativity to us. This kind of gets back to what the creative blogs were saying. And the creative blogs, they were really talking about the fact that even if the tool exists, people won't know how to use it to create what they want. The creatives are still going to be involved. If they're just using AI tools to get the job done, that's fine. All right, so if AI stops advancing today, you might have a point about the repetitive jobs. So this is getting in. Like our hands and traditional tools, people who feel they are adept at using it might feel interested and excited. Also, each individual has their own ways to interpret the world that best suits themselves. Some are quite adaptive, constantly looking for something new or challenging. Others enjoy the stable working patterns, thinking that life is not just about work. Unlike computing, internet, and mobile devices, the golden new technology is quite indeed disruptive. This is very true. I am a person, I have got to keep busy. I keep on doing different projects. I'm always trying new things. And a lot of those have paid off in my life. I have not had a wage payroll job in close to 20 years. And I like that lifestyle. I have a friend that completely opposite. He's like, I want a good, stable, solid job. I want to know how much money I'm making at the end of every single month. I want to know when I work and I want to know when I have time off. There is benefit to both of those approaches. And so we can't have a one size fits all. We can't have this 0-1 binary. Funny, all these people talk about non-binary. We don't want it necessarily in talking about our life, like our work patterns and things like this. If AI really outpaces human intelligence, imagine the positive. People hyper-focus on, well, the middle range artists struggle now, will be struggling? No idea. Now imagine we can cure cancer, not treat it with surgery or chemo. You see, this is nonsense. This is utter nonsense. You cannot cure cancer. A cancer cell is a deregulated cell. You're not going to cure that. You can't stop that. It's going to happen. Can AI help you find it and treat it faster? Possibly. I'm not outside the realm of that. Is AI going to cure cancer? No. You would have to find the individual single cell and apoptize it as fast as you possibly can. I don't see AI finding that. Is it possible? I don't know. Maybe it is theoretically possible. If the cell gives out some form of signal, which it generally does, if AI can track down the signal, okay, maybe I'm going to talk myself out of that one. Sorry, I'm a geek. All right. But I'm not sure we're going to see it curing cancer. Roll back climate change, eliminate automobile accidents, safer air travel. Yeah, tell that to the guy that got stuck in the Waymo circling in the parking lot. Well, that's just new technology. Yeah, the older technologies glitch just as much. Computers are old. They still have glitches. All right. AI means an end to the work you don't want to do. We can end joblessness, but still have everything we want in life. In a world where work isn't necessary, humans can do what their hearts lead them to. The problem right now is the impetus to getting us right now is greed. Greed sending takes us where we want to go. So there is a lot of interesting. You'll see a lot of this one here is a lot of the kind of pro, but you can also tell they're very utopian. They're very idealistic. And they are not really rooted much in reality. This one over here from a year ago, was anyone else excited about AI before, but feel more and more negative about it as it goes on? Again, he goes into some of this. I see the rise of people losing their jobs, failing to find a new one, losing their homes and livelihoods. Crime is going up. I don't see a realistic version of the future where the advance of AI and its integration in our lives is a good thing. Could it solve most of our problems and make things easier? Sure. Could we live in a utopia where people work 1 to 2 days a week and have more free time and agency to enjoy life? Sure. But is that what it will be used for by governments and corporations? No. And there's truth in that. If it were a perfect utopia with perfect human beings with no evil natures among ourselves, it could possibly solve the problems. So this guy's periods where I'm scared and other periods where I don't think it'll be as bad as everyone says. We are at the beginning of a revolution, maybe like living in 1700s, the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, back when nobody could envision how life might change for them and how society did eventually change. And like them, we aren't even a generation that will see real changes that will be our kids and grandkids. Because as like them, we aren't even the generation that will see the changes. Hard to disagree. I give a minimum 5-10 years until we see massive disruptions and changes. Each revolution is faster, by the way. The Industrial Revolution was about twice as fast as the philosophical revolution. This revolution is going to be infinitely faster. I tend to agree. 5 to 10 years, we're going to see major disruption. We've seen major disruption in 2 years. To be honest, I think the society is not ready for this. Everyone who says it will always have happened with all technological revolutions, but this is a whole different than what has happened before. Will new jobs be generated? Of course. but 30 new jobs will be generated where 1,500 will be lost. The problem is what you mentioned. Those who control things will not use it for the general benefit. They will not reduce work time to 1 to 4 hours a day, and they will maintain 700 workers. Instead, they will fire 680, make the 20 workers remain, work 5 days a week, 8 hours as always. But with AI, they will be able to do the same work as 700 before, saving the salary of 680 employees and increasing the profit significantly. Hopefully I'm wrong, but that is what my feelings in the last months. I still think AI is an incredible tool, but utopia won't happen. I agree. Reminder of the promises in the 1970s about the dramatic rise in affordable computing. They were going to lead to a life of leisure for all. What actually happened is few people became super rich. A lot of people got made redundant. This time is far more extreme. The only hope is that governments will be forced to legislate to avoid civil unrest and the collapse of society. It's going to be great, but those with the wealth and power will seek to have it only for themselves, basically large corporations and the 1%. It's not the AI I'm disappointed with, but the human's response to it. Okay, fair. This is a long one here. We are in for a massive paradigm shift. AI is revealing how little actual creativity goes into basic image production and reproduction, pop music, copywriting, and more. Soon it will be effective every possible creative in pursuit. I know this sounds harsh, but we need to accept that as it is. Some will see the value in being produced by humans, even the indistinguishable from the equivalent piece of an AI created, but most people simply won't care. Our lives are oversaturated with images, music, and videos. You see, we covered in news on an article in the Weekly News Roundup about a TV company, I forget which one. They were generating a lot of short videos that were completely AI generated, AI scripted, AI generated, simply to throw a few ads in between, a few ads in the middle of a 5-minute video, and a few ads afterwards simply to do ad revenue because the research shows people are too lazy to change their channels. That's, I think, what we're going to see. I don't mean that we can simply copy that, but we need to rewrite our culture, see life as something else than an achievement and an individual pursuit of money and status. We are by nature bound to pursue status to some degree, but our current Western, especially U.S. culture, takes it to an extreme level. There is an element of truth behind this. See, if we could go back to homesteading once again and grow our own food and have our own eggs and milk our own cows and engage in the life in smaller cultures, that's generally ultimately better for society as a whole. I agree. The problem is, have you seen so much regulation? Right now, there's a whole lot of fighting in the Department of Agriculture over, what to do about the eggs and can you sell milk that's not processed? Okay, there's a lot of big questions. There's deep regulatory issues. One of our channel followers building a tiny house in the particular area cannot even have a certain type of toilet. Okay? Because the city council says this is, despite all of the evidence suggests that's probably the best type of toilet to have if you have a small house. Because regulation is crazy. In most jurisdictions, you cannot build a tiny house. If you want to say, I want to cast off American consumerism, I want to buy an acre of land, I want to put up a tiny house that's like 200 square foot, it is compact, it has everything I need, I am perfectly happy there. You are not allowed to do that in most jurisdictions in the United States because it's too small for building code. Now, you could build the same thing on wheels. I have been in this van that I built. I built a tiny house in a van. I built it in 3 months' time. There's no regulation because it's on wheels. If I built the exact same thing that I'm comfortable with on a little plot of land stuck to the ground, it would be illegal almost everywhere. We are not going to get a utopic society because we have way too many regulations. And that's really what he's getting at here. We live in this culture world right now that is completely so driven by the exchange of money. This is why the ad networks are so problematic. And it just goes on and on. Ultimately, my point of this is that Microsoft is pushing AI. They're pushing AI everywhere. They're pushing AI in their systems. They're pushing AI to you. They're selling you this plan. But by and large, people are becoming more concerned with AI. Can it be an effective tool in some ways? Absolutely. Is it solving all of our world problems? No. It will probably give us a lot more problems than it solves. It'll give us better ways to solve some of our old problems while generating new problems in the middle of it. Should we completely ban it? I don't think we can put it back in the tube. Should we regulate a little bit more? As much as I'm generally for small government, I think we need some form of safeguard regulations. But at the same time, AI itself carries with it some problems. AI itself carries with it some solutions. I don't think it should be hoisted upon us. And if all the companies dealt only with the actual interest they had received from people, I think that the vast majority of those companies would say, you know what? AI is out. We would have a lot less push on it. But there's so much push on it. Why is Microsoft reorganizing everything around this? Because, as people have indicated, it is going to replace a lot of jobs. Microsoft is not out to solve the plight of the little guy. Microsoft is out to increase the shareholders' bottom line. And AI is going to allow them to do that. So they're pushing AI everywhere. Those that properly embrace it may see a future. Those that do not properly embrace it may get left behind. I don't have a lot of solutions here. This is just an interesting video where I'm saying, what do we do? What do we do? I'll tell you what I recommend you do. Switch to Linux. The reason is it's going to give you the opportunity to get AI out of being forced upon you and give you the option to explore it on your own terms in your own way without benefiting a company like Microsoft, which is collecting a lot of data about you through the use of the AI tools embedded in its own system. I, of course, recommend if you're new to Linux, check out Linux Mint. 22 is the current version. 22.1 is right around the corner. So if you show up on the page here in the next few days and it says 22.1, don't be afraid. That's just the brand new version. They've been working on fixing a few bugs. And you can download the distribution here, and they have good installation instructions over here. And we have videos about how to do that. With that, thank you for watching this long-winded video on AI. Let me know your thoughts down below. Should we embrace AI to a degree? Should we not embrace AI to a degree? Is it too late? Should we say, let's get what we can while the getting's good? What are the limits? I'm really interested in your comments down below because I have been wrestling over this for the last couple months. Should I embrace some degree of AI in helping along my work and put myself possibly in a better position, or should I get left behind? Or is that really the binary I'm in? I'm really interested in your thoughts. Look forward to hearing your comments down below.